So today will be the day one, okay, where we will start with basic. Then after we will enter into Jenkins, right? What is Jenkins? Then after we will go into the real-time projects. So we will go slowly, okay? So normally, how developer write their code, how the developer test their code, that one we need to know. How manually they will test the code. If I directly show you Jenkins, this is build this code and all, it's not a good approach. You need to know manual approach, then only you can able to understand. Even before understanding this manual approach, you need to know like how developers are writing the code, how many languages are there. So as a DevOps engineer, we are supposed to build and package the code. This is very much technology dependent. So depending upon the technology, it will varies. So there is a Java technology, .NET, C or C++, Node.js, Python. Okay. If it is Java, depending upon the technology, it will changes, right? Java contains compiled bytecode files, nothing but .class files that the Java virtual machine can run. So .NET packages contain intermediate language. Okay. That .NET runtime compiles to native code at execution time. So Java will have .class files, .NET will have intermediate language code. Okay. C produce executable binaries directly from source code that can natively on the target system. Nothing but C or C++ code can directly run. No need to compile or write build this. Even for Python also. In the Python also you will just copy the files to the target system, then directly execute. So only for Java and .NET you need to compile code or build compilation will place, okay, but for Python there is no compilation. Directly you will copy your software to your target system where you want to run your application, and you will directly run the execute your application. So that is Python. So depending upon technologies you will be having different. So if you see for Java there is a build tool called as Maven or Gradle. Okay, in order to create this class files, right, it will take, you need to do multiple things, but Maven make it simple. Maven tool make it simple. Maven will help you, that's it. How Zomato is helping you to deliver you food, in the same way, in order to work with class files, Maven is helping us to make our job easy. Okay, what Maven will do, Maven will create jar file or var file. Nothing but jar Java archive file or application archive file. Nothing but in .NET what is you will be having? If I go to downloads, programs, if you see there is a MySQL software. Okay, properties, details. Did you say .msi file? Git software, properties. If you see application.exe file, right? So like this for Java there is a jar file. Nothing but a setup file. I can directly double click. Okay, and yes, next I can able to install this. Yes, like that you need to, as a DevOps engineer, you need to convert the code into this setup file. How you will do that, you will learn, don't worry. You will get only code, you will not write the code. Developer will write the code, you will take that code, you will convert that code into setup file. In order to create a setup file, we have tools. For Java there is a Maven. Okay, for .NET there is a MS build. Okay, as I told you, right, for Python you no need to create a package and all, you will directly run the application. Okay, for dependencies, right, you need to have. Let's come step by step. Okay, like for Java, there is a built tool used tool Maven and Gravel. Packaging, create jar or war file. So what is the process? Source code is compiled into bytecode. Nothing but what are the code written by developer. First, it will convert it into a class files. Then after it bundle into a package that JVM can execute. Okay. In order to execute that file, first you need to convert into the class file, and that class file will convert into a package. So for .NET it's different. So depending upon technology it will varies. For .NET we will use MS Build as a build tool. Okay. Here you will create .dll files or exe files. I told you, right? Which I shown just now. Source code is compiled into intermediate languages. Whatever the code written by .NET developer, it will convert it into a intermediate language. So which then compiled to native code and at runtime by the like in order to run this code, first you need to convert it into a .exe or DLL file. For C and C++, this is the outdated version. No one is using C and C++, but still I have given because this world started with C, right? Use tools like Make, CMake or integrated development environments with build capabilities. So here, create native binaries for Windows or executable for Unix-based system that can run directly. Okay, C or C++ you can directly run the application. For this, you will be having .exe for .NET and executable for Linux. Unix, nothing but Linux. Source code is compiled into machine code directly executed on the target system. So what are the code you have written? It will be compiled into machine code, nothing but computer understanding language. So coming to Node.js, here you will use npm. I told you, right, for dependency you will use, okay, use tool like npm and run for dependency management. Nothing but whatever required, that dependencies will be nothing but there will be some libraries, right? Like for suppose there are some dependencies will be there. In order to download the dependencies, we will use tool called as npm. So generally no format packaging. I told you, right? Just bundle dependencies and source code. So deploy source code and dependencies. Node.js runs the JavaScript directly into in its runtime environment. For Python, you will use pip tool for packaging. So create source distribution or wheel file .gz nothing but you will create a zip file in Python. Deploy source code and dependencies. Python interpreters can run the code directly. Here also you no need to create anything. You just need to convert that file into a zip file, and Python can able to run that application directly. For shell script, it's an optional. Okay, you will just write a script file. You ignore it. I just added for understanding purpose. So now I've told you, right, technology based, and I've written build tool as well. Build tool, what is that build tools? Explain briefly. So what is make? What is Apache Ant? So Apache Ant is the older version of Maven. Okay. Now right now people are using Maven as a build tool for Java based projects. So what is the purpose? A build tool primarily used for Java projects and also supports Java based languages like Groovy and Scala. So it supports Groovy and Scala as well. So relies on convention and use a file called as pom.xml to define build steps and dependencies. Nothing but it depends upon one file, which is project object model. Nothing but a pom.xml. Inside this file, every information will be present. Nothing but what is the project name, right? How, what is the setup file name? You are creating a setup file. What is the setup file you need to keep? Okay. What are the dependencies? Everything it will present in the pom.xml. I will show you that. Don't worry. So Maven supports building, testing, packaging, and managing dependencies with a focus on convention over configuration, simplifying the build process by providing a standard structure and predefined lifecycle phases. Nothing but Maven can able to build the code. It will create a setup file, okay, and it will manage the dependencies and it will create some folder structure as well. Okay, it will manage everything. So Maven includes a feature called as archetypes that helps with project setup. Here how it fits into the build process. So what is this archetype? I will show. So Maven archetype, right? Archetype or project templates that generated a project directory structure and sample code. Nothing but what are the code you have written, right? How the code structure should be there, right? How you need to follow everything Maven maintains. That's called as archetypes. Nothing but what is the project directory structure. Okay, how many files will be there? How many folders will be there? The structure will be defined by archetype. Like for suppose you have purchased a land, you will be having a plan or not. First floor, this is the hall, this is the bedroom. In the same way, Maven will be having a architect archetype which manage the folder structure of your project. So you know about purpose, okay? For Java project configuration, nothing but whatever configuration, everything will be present in pom.xml. What are the features? It will manage the build management. It will manage the dependency management, conversion over configuration, nothing but standard project structure and archetypes. So first you need to set up the Maven. In order to work with Maven, right? First you need to set up the Maven. Nothing but you need to install Maven. So Maven was written in Java. Okay, Maven relies on Java to function, so Java needs to be installed on your system to work properly. Okay, now I will open a notepad. We have understood what are the languages types. Okay, how many developers are there? Depending upon technology, there will be various, right? There might be a Java developer, there might be a .NET developer, there might be a Python developer. It doesn't matter. As a DevOps engineer, what's our job? What is our job? Build by package the code. Yes or no? Yes. For Java, we will use Maven as a tool for creating a package. Maven tool. For .NET, what we will use? MS Build. Okay. For Python, we will use pip tool for dependencies. Okay. For Node.js, we will use npm for dependencies. We can run directly. Normally, application can run directly by copying the source file. For Python also same. For Java, you need to create a dot class files. That class files will be converted into a package. Which is a jar or var file. For MS build, you will create a DLL or .exe. Is there any confusion? No, right? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Super. So shall we check? I will take one. I will create one my own code. Okay. I will create my own Java code. I will write my own Java code. Okay. I am not using someone else code. Shall we create our own code? I will create my own code. You don't need to. I told you. You no need to know. Developer's job was to write the code. Our job was to take that code and build and package the code. Okay. You no need to know these languages, but you need to know the basic things. Okay, basic level you need to know. That's it. But still I know how to work on code, so that's the reason I will create my own code. Then after I will take some projects. Okay, first I will create my own code, I will build that code, I will show you how to work on that. So before that you need to know the Maven, right? We are using Maven tool for building the code. So before entering into this Maven, let's understand Maven lifecycle. Okay, and Maven repository types. Okay, if I go down, so I told you that project object model. This is the Maven lifecycle. So first you will be having validate, compile, test, okay, package, integration test, verify. Nothing but verify comes and verify, install and deploy. This is the okay Maven lifecycle. Nothing but if you execute package, what it will do? Whenever you execute mvn package, first it will validate the code, it will compile the code, it will test the code, it will generate a package. If you execute install, what it will do? It will come from first validate. I will show you everything, don't worry. Compile, test, package, you know, as a, this one no one will explain. Okay, even in the interview, they not interview or even the institutes, they don't show this all these things, but you need to know. Okay, all these things I will show you practically, but this is the life cycle of Maven. So Maven build life cycle. In this also there is three types of life cycles: default, clean, and site. Default life cycle, there is a validate. What is validate will do? Validate the project to ensure all necessary information is available. Okay, project information is present or not. Using validate, it will do. Compile, it will compile the source code of the project. Okay, test, it will run test using suitable testing frameworks. Example JUnit. Nothing but it will test the code. Package, package the compile code into distributed format such as jar or war file. Okay, or zip file. For Python, it's a zip file. Nothing but it will convert that code into a jar file. Verify, perform any additional verification to ensure the quality of packages. You understood, right? If there is any just quality of checks, which we will call it as integration test as well. Install the packages into local Maven repository. What is this Maven repository? I will explain, don't worry. Deploy the package to remote repository. So I've told you, right, there are default, this is the default life cycle. There is a clean and site as well. Okay, clean life cycle. Remove all files generated by previous build. It will remove all things. Pre-clean, it will, before cleaning, if you want to perform anything, you can use pre-clean. After cleaning, if you perform, then you can use post-clean. So there is site life cycle, pre-site, site. So it will just generate the project site documentation. So before running site, you can execute pre-site and post-site. Site deploy, it will nothing but it will create some documentation. It is not an important one, you can ignore, but it is available, so I'm showing. So I told you that Maven will run following phases: validate, compile, test, package, verify, install. So I will show all the steps step by step, don't worry. So Maven repositories type. Okay, I will open this image. So you will be having local repository, remote repository, central repository. Three types of repositories are there. So what you will do, you will create a jar file, yes or no? So if you are storing that jar file in your PC, your laptop, it is called as local repository. Okay, if you are keeping that jar file into some server, it is called as remote repository. Okay, another one, First central repository, which is internet. Okay, I told you, right, it will download some dependencies. From where it is download? Right, whenever Maven executing, it will download some dependencies. It will download from central repository, or it might be from company will have some companies will maintain their own repositories, which is remote repository, or it might download from remote repository. It might be a little bit confusing for you. Don't worry, you will slowly understand the concepts. There are three repository types: local, remote, and central. Whenever it will download the dependencies from, it will download from internet. Some companies will have restrictions. What they will do, they will create their own repository, remote repository. They will download the dependencies from central to remote. Okay, and from remote to your system, it will maintain private. First they will download the required dependencies in their remote repository, okay, from internet, and they will maintain this repository. Whenever request for dependencies, it will take from this remote repository. Okay, now I will show you. You have understood this. There is no confusion, right? What is validate, compile, and all. I will show you practically as well. Don't worry. This is the life cycle of Maven. So if you execute install, what it will run in the backend, I told you, right? If you execute mv1 validate, it will execute mv1 validate. If you execute install, first it will validate your code. It will compile your code. It will test your code. It will package your code. It will verify your code. It will install. So I will show you practically. Don't worry. So Maven artifacts and directory. Whatever the jar file you have generated, where it will do, Maven creates a directory called as target in the root of your project. Okay. Purpose: this directory uses to store the compiled code, package artifacts as jar or file, and other build. The target directory is attributable directory and management token. Okay. Nothing but whenever you execute an mvn package, what it will do, it will create a tar file. What is the purpose of this tar file? Whatever the jar file or var file you have generated, right? It will be stored in your target directory. Okay. Clean setup. If you execute mvn clean, it will delete the target folder. I will show you all these things. Don't worry. And I told you, right, you will be having multiple repositories. Local is nothing but .m2 directory. A hidden folder will be created. When Maven is installed, it's created .m2 directory in user's home directory on the Windows or on Unix. The purpose: the .m2 directory serves the Maven's local repository. It contains downloadable dependencies, plugins, and other artifacts required for your project. Local repository cache artifacts to avoid repeated downloads and from remote repository. Okay, whatever the dependencies required, it will kept into this .m2 directory. So within the .m2 repository subdirectory, where is a Maven stores all cache dependencies, artifacts, group IDs, artifact and version. What is this? All these things I will show. So Maven repository, local repository, .m2 directory, remote repository. Remote repository are external locations from which Maven can download dependencies and plugin. These repositories can be public repositories, private repositories. So public will be hosted by third parties such as Maven Central or JCenter, which are commonly used by developers to find and download open source libraries, which is public from internet. Private, I told you, right, hosted by organizations or teams, often to store artifacts or internal libraries. This can be managed tools like Nexus or Artifactory. Some people will use Nexus Artifactory. Okay.
Sir, Artifactory and JFrog is same or
Yeah, both are same. Companies are different. Even if you see Ola and Zomato, both are same. Companies are different, service is same, right?
we are actually using JFrog?
Okay. So yeah, depends depends upon your comfortability. Like some people will use Ola, some people will use like what Rapido. It depends. Like some people might use Zomato, some people might prefer Swiggy. So it depends upon their comfortability. Depends upon their budget. Okay, they will use that particular tool. In the same way, companies also prefer their tools If they are getting discount, right, depending upon that, they will use that particular tools. Okay, it's easy for them to change the tools because they doesn't care about the employees. Okay, employees will learn and they will work because they are paying. Okay, there are three types of repositories: local, remote, and central. Local is nothing but whenever you execute anything, a .m2 folder will be created. Whatever the dependencies, everything, it will store in the .m2 directory. Remote have two types. One is public. I told you, right? I've shown you already. It will download from dependencies from internet, which is managed by Maven. Another one was remote repository. You will create your own repository, like same like Nexus or Artifactory. You will kept all dependencies from internet there. Whenever request for dependencies, it will take from here. Or you can kept your jar or war file in your remote repository as well. So summary, target directory contains the result of build process and deleted by clean phase. Okay, .m2 directory contains local repository where Maven stores dependencies. Remote, so it will fetch dependencies not found locally. If there is no dependencies not present in your local system, it will download from internet. So default public, this is the public default public repository to download. So shall we create our own project? Building sample project, nothing but I will create my own project. Okay, I will create one server. I will create Ubuntu. Is there is no confusion, right? You know Maven lifecycle, Maven repository types. How and you know Java different technologies. No one will explain all these things, but you need to know without knowing how you will work. If you don't know for Python, no need of any generating of package and all, you will confuse, right? For Java, we are using Maven tool. We are building for Python. Why we are not using? Anyone? Because it isn't required. It can able to run directly. Yes or no? I will take 30 GB. Okay. I will take 30 GB of storage because we are running the project and I'm not directly show you how to build the project in the Jenkins. No, you need to know manually how to work on the project. Then only how developer will test their code. Whenever they write the code, they will test or not. Without testing, they will push the code. Huh? No, no, right? First, they need to test internally what are the code he has written, it is correct or not. Then after itself, right? They will push to GitHub. Yes or no? I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
So let's learn how to test your code manually. First, you need to know how to come to the second floor or fifth floor using steps. Then after use lift. First, you need to know manual. Okay. I will just use some name called as real time. Okay. So Maven was written in Java. So without Java, Maven will not work. So you need to install Java. Okay. And depending upon your project, your project will have dependencies. Your source code will have dependencies. Okay. Depend if you don't take the dependencies, it will fail. Okay. Where is project folder? There is a PEM file present here. Whenever you create, right, a PEM file will be generated. I will keep that PEM file in the project folder. Shift insert, enter. Yes. How much time is there? Yeah, we have 30 minutes of time. No issues. Okay, first I need to install Java. So before installing any software, first you need to update sudo apt update. So what it will do? It will download the dependencies. Typo. Nothing but it will just refresh. In Windows also, what you will do? You will refresh or not? Yes. Why? Why will use refresh? So that our system perform well. Even in the Ubuntu also, if you want to download software safely, first you need to update. Okay. If you see, it will download some required some dependencies. That's it. Now I want to install Java. I don't know what is the command. There is a wonderful command sudo apt cache search jdk. Okay, then it will just give you the package names. So if you see there is a OpenJDK 11, OpenJDK 17 version, OpenJDK 18, OpenJDK 8, okay, OpenJDK 21. So, and you need to understand one thing. Some projects will have some dependencies. Some project will work on OpenJDK 21. Okay, some project will work on only OpenJDK 8. Okay, some project will work on OpenJDK 11. Okay, some project will work on OpenJDK 17. So how you will get to know that project will work on that particular version? I told you right, for every project there is a pom.xml. Yes or no? Project object model. In that pom.xml it will mention, hey, this project supports this version. This project requires this version. All these things will mention in the pom.xml. I will show you that, don't worry. But remember, project will have dependencies. So some projects will work on some version. Okay. Now which version shall we install OpenJDK 17? Yes.
Sir.
So okay, OpenJDK 17, OpenJDK development kit. Okay. Sudo apt install shift insert -y. Okay, it will install the Java. It will take some time. Let it do. So install Maven. So you can download the Maven from official website. Okay. You can download tar file or binary zip file. Okay, we will take tar file. Okay, take the tar file, or if you want to have a previous versions, definitely you can go to the previous version as well. Okay, I will check Java version. Yes, Java 17 was installed. I told you right, depending upon the project will have dependencies. So create a sample Maven project. So you can use Maven's built-in archetypes. I told you right, archetypes to generate a sample project with a standard structure. So generate a project using archetype. Open a terminal or command prompt. Okay, I have opened the terminal. Run the following command to generate sample project. Okay, this is the command. You need to understand this command. Okay. Anyway, I've shown you explanation as well. So D group example group ID, artifact ID, specify the archetype. If you are Java developer, you need to know all these things. But right now you don't need to. Okay, first I need to install Maven, right? Did I install Maven? I've just execute. It's my mistake. I will add this. I told you right. If you see, these are the projects. Okay, this is the Java Maven open source project. One more project, Spring Petalink project, Game of Life project, Broadleaf project, OpenMRS project, REST API project. Okay, all these are Java projects, and this project will work on Java 21. Okay, this project work on Java 11. This project work on Java 11. This project will work on only Java 8. If you are installing Java 17 and if you are building this code, it will fail. This is what dependencies. This project will work on only Java 17. Okay, you need to be careful while working on the project. Now I've added installation steps. I will just copy that where I've added Java and Maven installation. Okay, here it is present. Setup Maven. Here is present, right? Until here I've executed. Now refer here, click here. How to install Maven on Linux Ubuntu. Okay, there is some change. I will update. Don't worry. Just focus on installation right now. That's my wrong. It was there here itself, but I gone down. Okay, I will install Maven 3.9.8 or 3.6.3. Depends upon your requirement. You can like multi that versions, no issues. And there is, I told you, right, dependencies. You need to have particular Java version. You need to have particular Maven version as well. If the version was changing, then obviously your code will not work. So that's what dependencies. Okay, click here. Sometimes that what are the URL you are kept entering, right? It will fail because that URL might be updated. So this is for JDK. Ignore. Okay. For Maven installation, this is the command. Okay, I will take this. Shift insert. So this URL is not working. I will download this. Okay, tar file was downloaded. Okay, this is not supporting. You will confuse. Shall I remove this? It will take hardly 2 minutes. If not, you will execute this. It will fail and it will create a problem for you. Okay, I will remove this. It is outdated version. Okay, blindly follow this. For writing this, right, it has taken 2 to 3 days for me. Okay, download the tar file. Tar file is nothing but a zip file. In Windows, how there is a rar file. So then after untar.file. Okay. Then after move that folder into the opt maven. Okay. Then after copy this path, add it into etc environment. So from first line, I want to go to last line. How I can go? Escape. I will just come out. Before editing file, right? You need to use sudo. Okay. Sudo vi. Okay. Do you know the shortcut? From first line, I want to go to the end of the line. Simply use. Do you know anyone?
G, sir. I think G. Use
So did I come
VA.
to last line
G.
or not? Dollar. Just use shift dollar. Automatically will go to end of the line. Okay. This is very much important. You need to use shortcuts to save your time. Okay. Escape colon W. It's my mistake. Colon WQ. Okay. Then after exit and relogin. Okay. Exit relogin. Then after what it is telling, check the MVN version. Okay. MVN version. Okay. Apache Maven installed and it is running runtime as Java 17. Okay. So I told you, right, project object model pom.xml. It will have a version, group ID, artifact ID, and version. So what is this pom.xml? Project object model, refer here for official doc, simple pom.xml. So you can read this out, okay, to understand. So this is the folder structure. First I will install one more software, sudo apt install tree. Tree is nothing but it will just show you this folder structure, that's it. Okay. Now I will execute this archetype. So if you see downloading from central, yes or no? Yes. How many repository types are there in Maven? So if you see archetype in directory home/ubuntu my sample project ls minus lrth. How many repository types are there in Maven? rm minus rf.
Local,
Okay,
remote, and cloud.
central.
Central. Yes, central.
So if you see where it is downloading from central, right? Downloading from central, downloaded from central, downloaded from central. Okay. Local is nothing but I told you, right, .m2 folder. A .m2 folder will be created whenever you execute anything. In the .m2 folder, it will store your dependencies. Every time it will not download dependencies. In your local system, if the dependencies are present, it will use from there. Remote. What is remote? Company, if they want to have their own repositories, they will create their own repositories. Okay. So if you see a project folder was created, cd my project. I will go inside my project. Okay, I will just execute tree. So if you see, this is the project structure: src, main, Java, okay, test, Java, com. So this is the folder structure. This is called as archetype. I told you, right? Maven will help us in maintaining the folder structure. Yes or no? Maven will manage the dependencies. Okay, that's the beauty of this Maven. But manually, if I want to create this structure, how much time it will take? Too much of time, yes or no? Normally, developers in the olden days, whenever they're writing the code, right, they need to create their own folder structures. But with the help of tool, did our job was become easy or not? Yes or no? So now you
Yes, sir.
got it right. Why people are using Maven? What is the use of that Maven? Because it's making our job simple. That's the reason we are using Maven. Now you got clarity, right? You might heard about this Maven tool, but right now you get some understanding why Maven help using, why people are using Maven, right? You got some idea or not?
Yes,
By
sir.
now you got some idea, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this is what folder structure, right? I've given you same understanding pom.xml. So the pom.xml file is the core configuration file for Maven. It defines project dependencies, plugins, and build configuration. Okay, what is pom.xml? In the interview, if they ask what you need to tell, your project dependencies, your plugins, and configurations. The configuration related to the project, dependencies related to the project, everything will be present in this pom.xml. If you see, what is the version of your, which version you want to have, that version, what is your group ID, what is your artifact ID, nothing but your project name, what is the version of your project, okay. And if you have any dependencies, JUnit is a tool for testing your code. So like that you can have multiple dependencies. Now there is a pom.xml or not? I will cat this pom.xml. Yes, whatever, same my sample project, snapshot, version, packaging format, jar file, okay, everything, your project related configurations, how, what is the type of your, everything will be, you will mention. So Maven lifecycle, first will be compile, control L, shift insert, mvn compile, it will compile your code, okay, it will download the dependencies, build success, okay. Next, mvn test,
Valid.
okay, test runs 1. If you execute mvn package, what it will do?
It will create a package.
No, first it will compile the code, okay,
Okay.
then after it will run the tests.
Okay, test.
So Maven, what is the mvn package is equal to compile plus test, okay, then jar file, create a jar file as well, okay. So if you see, jar file is generated or not in the target folder, I told you, right? ls minus lrth, a target folder will be created whenever you execute mvn package. What is mvn clean? On one more type of mvn clean, it will delete the target folder, okay, it will remove the target folder. So if you see here, I've mentioned right where it is, not here. Three types: default, yes, clean lifecycle, default lifecycle, right? Site lifecycle, yes or no? If you want to download documentations, right, you can use MVN site. But this is not important. But you understood, right? Clean, remove all files generated by previous build. So you can use MVN validate. First step is MVN validate. So I've added MVN two times. MVN validate. So you will get build failures. Okay, how, why it will fail? It depends if the dependencies doesn't match. If you are using someone Java, like unsupported Java version, if your code was written wrongly, so compile will compile the source code. Okay, yes, MVN test will run test using a run test suitable using JUnit. Okay, MVN test. JUnit is one type of tool for testing. Okay, MVN package. Package is equal to what? Validate, compile, test. Okay, even if you execute package, it will not directly run package. It will first start with from zero. Got it? You got it? Lifecycle, yes or no? If you execute, it will compile the code, it will test the code, then after it will create a jar file. So verify. It will just a verification. So whenever you join the company, do you have a background verification or not? Yes or no? It will also just verify. MVN install ls minus lrth. Okay, ls minus lrt, yeah. Okay, ls minus la, it will give the hidden folders as well. So whenever I execute install the package into local Maven repository, making it available for other projects and submissions. MVN install. So here also it will first compile the code, test the code, create a jar file. Okay. Once the jar file is generated, what it will do? It will copy that jar file into dot local repository /ubuntu .m2 folder. Okay. Slash repository. Okay, a .m2 folder will be created. Inside that repository it will store your jar file. Okay, a .m2 folder will be created where it will created in your home directory. Shall we go? Yes or no? .m2 is folder created or not? Shall we go inside this .m2? ls minus lrth. I will just enter tree. Okay, this is the folder structure. This .m2 folder will have all dependencies. Okay, this much of dependencies are there. Okay, you need to understand all these things. But developer should know all these things. Okay, cd com. Okay, where it is copied? cd my sample project. I will execute again. Mvn install. Okay, .m2 repository com example my sample project. Okay, there it has created. So ls minus lrth. So if you go to target folder, right? cd target ls minus lrth. Okay, there is a jar file or there or not? Okay, if you see just a hello world. Whenever I execute java cp target, it is executing hello world. Okay, to run the jar file, this is the command. So summary, what is the summary? By following these steps, you can set up, build and run Java like Maven project. This process introduces you to basic Maven commands and project structure, allowing you to start managing more complex projects and dependencies. Yes. Now shall we test someone else project? Now we have created our own project. Shall we take this project? This was written by some people, which is a simple Java Maven project. Okay, if you see there are 28,000 folks. These are the peoples which have contributed for this project. Okay, so if you see there is a pom.xml. So artifact ID, right? Version. So JUnit. Control F. I will just execute Java. Enter. So what is a Java version? 17. Yes or no? Yes.
Sir.
So it will support Java 17 version. If you are executing this project on Java 11, it will fail. So every dependencies will work on dependencies, everything mentioned in the pom.xml. Okay, what pom.xml will have? You will be having version, you will be having packaging type, artifact ID, group ID, and dependencies. Okay, now shall we run this project? Yes. So I will just download that project. To download, git clone. Okay, ls minus lrth. Okay, so simple Java man project downloaded, right? cd simple Java man project, and this project we have installed jdk 17. Okay, so mvn package is equal to what? Validate, compile and test. Yes or no? Mvn install equal to, I've given you the diagram, right? What install is equal to? Validate, compile, test, package, verify. Yes or no? You understood, right? If you execute validate, it will just do validate. If you execute install, these it will do all these things. So at the first time, if I have shown you, you got confused. But right now you got some clarity. Yes or no? If you do package, it will like run this all these steps. If you do install, it will run all these steps, and install nothing but it will jar file will copy it into a local .m2 directory. Deploy, if you are using Nexus Artifactory, right? It will copy that file into your Nexus Artifactory. That is deploy. Am I audible? Did you getting my point? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will execute mvn package. Okay, it will first download the dependencies. It will compile the code. It will test the code. Okay, it will create a jar file. So this is what, like this you will do as a DevOps engineer. You need to build. You need to know the command. That's it. You need to know the Maven lifecycle. So shall we run Spring Picnic? This is the one of the biggest project. Shift insert cd Spring Picnic mn clean package. So what clean package? It will first delete the target folder. If there is a target folder is there, okay, first it will remove the old files and it will create freshly. Understood? What is the meaning of mvn clean package? So it will take hell lot of time because it's a too much big project. I will show you that. It is a cat website. Okay, this is the website. As a DevOps engineer, you need to know how to build the code. Now you got it right. If you join a new company, if they have given you the Java code, do you know how to build the code? Yes or no? What you will do? First you will check the form.xml. Control F, Java. So what is the Java version supporting? What is the Java version? Yes or no? What is this? Can you able to see? Hello. What is the Java version?
Yes, 70.
So you need to check. So if you are not using Java 17, this build will definitely fail. Yes or no? If you are using Java 11 or someone else, will it fail or not? Okay, there will be multiple reasons for failing your job. So as a DevOps engineer, you need to troubleshoot. Okay, you
Sir,
cannot.
actually, I have one question.
Yes,
We can find like Maven version we are using, like a developer will tell us, or
you need to ask.
like
If he doesn't tell you, you need to ask. Hey,
okay,
you have
okay.
written this code. Is there any dependencies? So which version I can use? Anyway, you no need to
So that helps.
worry about this. Everything already will set up in the companies. Your job was to just go and run. That's it. You will not even set up. Everything will be already set up.
Hmm.
You will just manage already present infrastructure. Right now we are working from scratch,
Okay.
so I'm showing all these things. But in real time in companies, they don't take any risks. They will already set up your infrastructure and they will just give you that infra to manage. It will be a very easy job once you enter into this DevOps. But to getting a job, it will be difficult. But once you get a job, right, your job will simple. But you need to know, you need to be an expert. Okay, if job got failed, now it is running locally. You will run the same thing in using Jenkins. At that time also it will fail or not. So why it is failing? You need to check and you need to troubleshoot. It might be issue with your dependencies, and you cannot directly tell to the developer, hey, your code was failed. It's your fault. No, it might be our fault as well. Once we enter into Jenkins, right, you will understand. Don't worry. But you know, right, how to test manually, yes or no? Like this, you need to test your code. Then after you can run in Jenkins. What is this Jenkins? Secondary. I will explain. Today you need to understand how many languages are there. Depending upon the languages, what are the tools you are using? What is the purpose of the tools? Okay, majority of companies use Java itself. 80% companies use Java itself. So you need to focus on Java projects. .NET, if you are working in Microsoft, right? Only Microsoft company use .NET. Very less. And if you some companies might use Python. Depends. But you need to work on all projects. Yes or no? You need to know how to work on Java project. You need to know how to work on .NET project. You need to know how to work on Node.js. You need to know how to work on Python. Yes. So if you know all this, you will definitely have confidence and you will definitely crack a interview. Yes or no? Because you know how to build the code on multiple technologies. You will not have fear, right, to face the interviews. If they ask you what is the project you have worked, right, how you have worked, how you have built the code, what is the steps you have followed, which technology you are using. If they ask, you can able to answer yes or no.
Yes, sir.
So if I execute ls minus l.th, a target folder was created. Yes or no? Inside the target folder, a jar file was created. So like this, you will build the code. Okay. Oh, today time was happening speed. Okay. Now take this as a task. Okay. Install Java 8. Okay. How to install Java 8? Sudo apt cache search jdk. There is no space. Okay. Apt cache. Okay. Open jdk 8 jdk. Just copy this sudo apt install 8. Install 8. Okay. Then clone this code mn clean package. 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 Is it difficult or easy? I have shown you three projects. Okay, I've created my own project. I've shown you three projects. Will it hard for you to work on this? Can you able to do this? Take it this. Can you take this as a task? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So check the versions. So if you want to uninstall Java, do you know how to uninstall Java? I have given. Okay, to remove OpenJDK, the one you have already installed. Okay, I have already given that. Let me remove that from there. So I will add that here. So I've told you right, it has taken too much of time for me to generate this. So I just written in zigzag fashion. It's okay, but slowly it will be updated. So this actually I no need to show all these things. Frankly, I can directly show you the Jenkins and how to build the code. That's it over. But I am telling all this so that you will be have that confidence and you can work on any technology. Okay, I will paste here. Okay, to remove. Okay, commit. That's it. Everything I already explained. I have given you the project structure. Okay, tried this. Okay, what is this libraries? In the libraries also there are two types of libraries. Okay, what is the dependencies? Okay, what is artifact, what is everything I've mentioned. And there is a multi-project model in Maven in projects. Okay, what is this? We will discuss tomorrow. Okay, Maven wrapper, Maven test. So then after, so all these things and .NET project. Okay, I will stop there.